but we're going to have to start so we don't run over time.
Okay.
SUMO development update. Ricky, thanks for these notes. Do you want to talk through any of this?
Yes, read and any questions? No. So we're halfway through the sprint. I called out a few things we fixed. One is on the Army of Awesome. Where's Malavina? She's not here.
She's sick
Sick.
today.
Okay, so now this is for her. So I wanted her to listen. So yeah, so now contributors will stay like in the past. If you were an Army of Awesome contributor, you signed into Twitter and say you answered some tweets. Then you came back the next day, you had to sign into Twitter again. Blah, blah, blah. So now if you're signed into Sumo, if you, usually you stay signed into Sumo, like the cookie is persistent. I don't know if it lasts a month or something or forever. So as long as you're signed into Sumo, you will stay signed into Twitter, so you don't have to re-sign in every time. So that was one
That's
complaint from Moscamp that a lot of people were
Cool.
complaining about. So that's fixed. And also, there's a bunch of small UX things that we've been working on while the rest of the stuff uh, comes to us. One is like search-related stuff. We added the search box to the bottom of the search result page. And some stuff for ask a question flow, making the icons bigger and stuff. And we're gonna add a progress bar that's still in progress, and yeah, that's pretty much all I had. And we're still working on search, unified search, which is getting closer. And the other thing I wanted to sort of mention, I guess it's not related to my section, but just so we talk about it later, is that it looks like Sumo traffic is like at an all-time high since last Tuesday, Firefox 13. So I don't know if anybody has thoughts or if that's worrisome or whatever, but something to think about.
Yeah, I got a couple of things that maybe cause that. We'll talk about that in the status update.
And that's me. Any questions? All right.
so the stuff in the new stuff. Do we see that on stage yet? These four new things at the end.
So the two top ones are already on production, and the two bottom things are coming this week.
Oh, awesome. Thanks. Okay. Do I need to reload for the Firefox status update? I don't see anything there yet. Uh, oh, but we have a couple things before we ever get there.
Yeah.
Okay, UX, Bram, go for it. Do you want to
Okay.
talk through?
Yeah. So the link there is wrong, but the presentation is going to be this Thursday. Susan's going to be available, so that's good. I checked with her last Saturday, I think, or yesterday. I don't remember. But I checked with her about the timing, and then she said she can do it. So it's going to be this Thursday. Kind of replacing the weekly KB meetings. I think a lot of people are going to be available. So if Verdi's okay, then we're just going to have it around that time. So we kind of talk about it this week. So that's that. So before the meeting, go through the run through if you haven't. It will help clarify a few things. I made well. I started on an executive overview sort of document, and has been helping me with that also. And that so that's going to be a deliverable along with like all the videos and the data documents that you have seen. Looking at 100 pages of results is not helpful. That's what I found out. So we're going to condense it into, I don't know, I'm hoping it could be like an essay-ish sort of document. Maybe 8 pages, 10 pages, like it's not going to be a table, right? So it's going to be readable to normal human beings. So that's what we're going to do. And we're also going to do the presentation, which is kind of an even shorter version of that will kind of go through the thing, like through the big findings and through things that we can do. There's also a bug for the visual design. I believe we are getting some help from John Slater's team, so that's good. They just need to confirm the timing. The Ask a Question form had been updated. So if you want to see that, there are 2 proposals there. So maybe Ibai and I can like talk about this today or tomorrow or something like that. What is it? The first one is the same, where you select the product and the topic, and then you fill in your questions and register. The second proposal is to kind of make it a 1-part process. I think it's mentioned by one of our testers that, hey, look, the whole thing is too long. So we said, okay, let's go back to the 1-part process, but let's make it sort of drastically shorter. And when you make things shorter, you got to cut out a few things that might be okay, that might not be okay. So for example, on the second proposal, we do away with the topic selection because, well, maybe we need it, like maybe we don't need it, right? Because that's a feature that needs to be built, like the ability for us to display like just-in-time help and to display topic suggestion that might answer users' question like right as you are asking a question. That might be a feature that we need to be built. So this proposal does not have that, but as a result, you know, in addition to the ask a question process being shorter, you know, we won't have topic selection too, and you know, we might not want that. So that's something to consider. So both sort of proposals are on that file, on that PDF file, because I locked it up. We have not started the second. We did not test the 1-part process, like the item number 2. We did not start on that because the suggestion actually came kind of late into the testing. It's like user number 6 or number 7. It's one of the last days. So we couldn't test it again, but it's a great candidate for like a second testing or something. So that's that. The desktop wireframes, I think it should be pretty much final now. The mobile wireframes are kind of less final, but it's been updated too with like the latest wording. So yeah, so I think we're moving at a pretty good pace. And then the thing that I'm going to be working, I think this week, in addition to like making the presentation and writing the like the human readable summary, is the ask a question indicator, like a couple of bucks from Ricky's stuff. So that's that.
Cool.
I'm surprised I didn't sneeze at all. I've been sneezing nonstop for the whole day. But.
Okay, I was just looking at the bug. It doesn't have a lot of comments in it, the one that's tracking the visual design change. So, but I have been watching the videos from the paper prototyping tests. Very interesting stuff. I encourage everyone to watch them, take some time to watch them, because it's just amazing the things.
Can I just watch the first 3?
Things users will say. Things get really interesting with participant 4, so don't.
Yeah.
Oh, just 4 then.
Not to be missed.
I think that 4 is probably the best one in terms of like acquiring knowledge. There are a couple of them that are like, yeah, I don't know, yes, maybe.
Right.
But
Okay.
number
There are
4
no
is pretty
shortcuts, I
vocal.
guess.
Well, participant 4 is just very articulate.
Yeah.
She really talks a lot, and so it's more helpful than the first 3, I think, because they don't talk nearly as much. It's if you have someone who can talk to you about what they're thinking, it's much more helpful.
And the one that got, I think, the most experience using the computer and actually got the most answers right was number 7. I think it's number 7. So, yeah, so he completed stuff pretty well. And he's our best performer. Not that it matters, but like.
But the first 3 are pretty confused, so. Interesting maybe that the later participants do better. I wonder why.
Yeah.
But
It sounds
maybe,
like it's worth sitting through the first 3 so you understand what the confusion can be out there.
yeah.
Okay.
Those, if people don't know where those are posted, I know it's linked from the KB meeting notes.
Yeah. And if anyone knows how to transfer those files from my like personal server to Mozilla's people server kind of remotely, like I downloaded it to my computer, but I don't I don't want to upload 500 megs of file. That'll take the whole day, right, to upload to Mozilla's people server. So if anybody knows of like a remote like file transfer thing that I can just transfer that to Mozilla server, that'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah, total is
Cool.
about 4 gigs.
Thanks
So
for the update.
Wow.
So in Roundtable, I put the numbers that we have so far for the new homepage with all the new graphics and designs. Evi, I tried to make the little macro things work, and they're not really doing it as a percentage, but we are off the numbers a little bit. So far, it's just 3 days. Things are down just a little bit, so we'll have to keep watching it. Forum questions seem fairly stable. I had a big spike last week from the release, so that's a little hard to tell, but it seems like we're staying on top of them. Helpfulness, though, is off the 72% goal. And visits to articles are down a little bit and exits up a little bit, so we'll just have to keep watching it to see where it goes.
Wait. I thought exits are down a good bunch.
Are they?
50% versus like 54, 55%? 50, 51% versus 54, 55%?
Are they?
yeah,
Oh, that would be a good
that's what it's,
jump down then.
But there's some other, I'm confused looking at this. There was this, whatever this row 72 has like crazy numbers in it, like 54,000 homepage visits versus 10,000 the day after or 9,000 the day before. Like so far off the other ones. 12th or
Yeah, but the 5th was launch date, so the 6th was probably the day most people got the update.
Yep,
That's correct.
that's right. That's the
wow.
release.
Like we had 6 times the amount of people go on, click the ask a question thing. Or I mean, ask a question total. Look how many more multiples that is. That's right.
Yeah, this is
Are they wrong?
No,
It's
I don't
quite-
know. I'm just
They're
saying,
wrong.
wow, that's a huge spike. Is that correct?
yes, that
Maybe it is.
looks. Is the traffic multiplied by 5?
yeah, around 5. That's what I think.
I mean, it could be true that suddenly we have 500,000 people visiting, and if 500,000 people are coming, it's in percentage, it's not any difference. You know?
Yep.
So at the end of the day, you don't need to look at I mean, you need to have the magnitude, but the important how people interact with the site is just the percentage. It doesn't usually change.
All right, so exits are down another 5%.
Hey, Michael, and another thing is, since the update on the What's New page, we're linking to a couple of SUMO articles, so that could drive traffic up as well, because everybody that updated would see those links and probably just click on them.
What would that do? Sorry, I wasn't following you.
So it drive up traffic as well. So, we're popping the What's New page to everybody who gets updated, and then there's 2 links to articles right there. So that could increase traffic significantly, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. But that was more on, I guess it would, well, yeah, that would be like on all the days, but I guess the most on the 6th, yeah.
Yep. So feel free to check my work in Web Trends to make sure, but because I put all these numbers in, and I'm fairly confident that they're correct, but I know that obviously the percentages are not clear, so maybe eBay you can fix that for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I
That's
will
just
try to do
formatting,
it.
right?
Yes, it's just the formatting of the percentage of the
Right.
box. I'm trying to do it because everyone is working at the same time, so it feels that it's not working
Stop
fine.
looking at it.
Stop looking at it.
Yes.
Look away. Okay. Um, so anyways, I think we're going to talk about that a little more um, with Matt's update. I mean, Ricky said he saw a big spike in traffic this week or starting on Tuesday. I mean, we see it in web trends on Wednesday. But we'll just keep watching it this week and see where the numbers go. Matt, were you going to talk about traffic in the status update?
Yeah, so status update. We may be looking at a 1301. We've got a few top crashers that we're tracking right now. We also have some pretty big emerging issues. So the Hotmail Messenger issue right now is pretty big. And that's something that Microsoft was supposed to fix, but they haven't. So now we're thinking we may end up having to fix it ourselves. Then unrelated to the possible 1301, there's also an update to Flash pushed on Friday, which seems to be crashing everything. And I'm sure you guys have probably seen traffic on that spike on the forums. So I'm going to be gathering more data around that today so that we can show the folks at Adobe just how big this is. But it's going to be driving a lot of traffic. It seems to be pretty volatile. So if there is a 1301, the decision will be made Wednesday, and we'll probably push that on Friday.
Matt, I got the same feedback from the Hispanic community. They're also seeing a lot of traffic on that, on Flash.
And we got postings by the Italian localizers, right? Too, in our forum about
Right.
problems with the Flash thing.
And Tyler, do you have something I see here in the forums?
Yeah, just this morning I started seeing a bunch of threads starting with Flash just not showing at all
Right.
after updates, at least 3 to 4. Not necessarily a crash, just blank screen when you go
Yeah,
in.
so there's something new, that protected mode, something that they threw in specifically for Firefox, seems to be causing a lot of issues. So
Yeah.
okay, but I'll update the Firefox 13 status thread, and I'll add all the things that we're currently tracking, and I'll keep you updated if we do end up pushing a new release on Friday.
Okay, thanks. Next up is metrics. And it looks like in the background, eBay's checking my work, and there are some numbers problems with that spreadsheet. So we'll go back to that at the end if we have time. KPI dashboard. So, I don't know. Is there anything here people want to talk about? Right, with the increase of questions, we're seeing the reverse impact on what we're, getting answered. That seems fairly obvious. I think it will stabilize helpfulness down just a little bit, and L10N coverage is down a little bit, but I'm assuming that's because, Michael, you're marking stuff as ready for 14, and also maybe from the article summaries work that's happening?
Actually, I haven't those. No, that's coming this week, but I think it's from, there was a bunch of updates on Tuesday just to corrections for Firefox 13 stuff that I marked
Okay.
all ready for localization. Hey, one thing that I just noticed, if you go back and you compare the big spike from the last release to this release on the questions, so this time we had 124 questions on Wednesday, and we answered 97.6. And if you look on the previous one on Wednesday the 25th, we had less questions, 116, and we answered 87.1. So we had more questions and we answered more of them this time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome job, everyone.
And we solved a higher percentage too.
Yeah, I noticed that solved is rock, so that's great. It probably means that moderators are able to be more effective now too. Any other comments on the KPI dashboard?
So the one thing that's weird about the L10N thing, so like the L10N coverage drops between Thursday and Friday. But those things that I marked on Tuesday. Like, and then it actually like goes, yeah, it stays the same for Wednesday and Thursday, and then drops. It's just weird, right?
Yeah, I was also thinking the same thing when you told me that you made the updates on Tuesday. So I don't know.
Did we add a new language?
I was checking that, but I didn't add any language. I didn't add any language. I know from some community members that there were some problems with some languages, that they're missing some translations. Ricky, I'm sure you saw that post too. I think you were commenting on that too. Ibrahima was saying that. So I don't know if the metrics are accurate, or if there's a problem there. That was what I was asking you, Michael. And Michelle, did you post new articles too, or not yet?
Nope.
Okay, so I think that we should look into that also, because we don't know what happened to the.
No, this
What?
wouldn't. No, I'm thinking about when I approved all the pieces for the new IA. Those were still not marked ready for localization, but they hadn't been for forever, so that shouldn't change anything either. But that happened on Friday. I'm trying to think of like what happened on Friday.
Okay.
Right?
Rick, I also pushed the strings, but I don't think that should change anything, right?
No, that doesn't affect this.
Yeah, exactly.
But Michael, there's something weird on. So the locales that don't have the homepage translated, they're basically getting the English homepage, and those are blank now.
They are?
Because you switched it to the news section.
Right.
That's what I was talking about like a couple of weeks ago. That we really need to figure out the story around the small ones, because it's pretty dramatic.
So I'm not sure what to do there.
What do you mean they're blank now? What does that mean?
So it just shows like a blank homepage.
What?
Well, it shows like the hot topics and the news or something, right? Probably.
So if you go to like FF Mobile,
or just not just FF.
Oh, actually, that one shows up fine now.
Oh,
because they must have localized it.
They must have localized it.
Yeah. So which is, I don't know, Arabic. Like if you go to Arabic.
Arabic, it's.
Arabic, yeah.
Right. Then you just have hot topics and news. So that's because the piece that has all the content we made visible only in English, because if you didn't, then what would happen is on all the locales that have translated the front page, that would show up on top of their translated content. It's so crazy. And it would push all the translated content to the bottom of the page.
Below.
Yeah.
So what we can do is go back, so make a code change so that in English we don't show the two bottom sections, and then you can undo those revisions where you blank them out.
Okay. Wait, say that again?
So you leave the old revisions for those two pieces, for those two sections, you leave the old ones with the right content, because right now they're blank, because you have to blank them out, right?
No, they're not blank. They have hot topics and Mozilla News in them, at least on the desktop on the main homepage they do.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, so that shows up for if you go to the Arabic home,
Yeah.
they get hot topics
Yeah.
and stuff. So is that fine? I
I
mean, I don't know.
mean, the whole thing is like nothing's translated. So
Right.
I don't
That's the main problem,
like
that
so.
nothing's
So
translated.
how bad of a like it's bad, but also like the fixing it would mean they would just get a whole bunch of English content there
Yeah.
that's also untranslated.
Like I don't know how many locales are in this situation and what traffic they get. Probably not. It's probably not a big deal anyway, right? If they're, I don't know.
Where did everybody go? Half the
There's
I'm here.
okay, half the faces dropped off.
no, I think that there's a couple of locales that are important and get a lot of traffic that have this trouble, and that this is like what we were talking about, running them through Google Translate. But I think that we need to do that on an ad hoc basis. I'm talking to the locale leaders.
I mean, you could always go to those locales and create a translation of the front page and just not change any of the words and leave them all in English. And then they'll have content. It'll all be in English, but they'll have content. Maybe that's the no code easier thing to do. Just identify the ones that are hosed up like that.
How many do we think it is? Do we have a ballpark?
I don't even know how you know.
Yeah,
Me neither, to be honest.
I'd probably have to. Probably have to look in the database or something.
But we do have a list of top locales, right?
Yeah,
like,
we
Yeah.
can get the traffic for each locale.
Yeah,
that's
so that's probably a good place to start. Maybe.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
So maybe that's a good place to start, is to, rather than hitting them all, you just hit all the top traffic one and see if you can actually make big improvements that way. And if that does make like big improvements, then we probably have hit the thing. Again, it's not a very scientific way of doing it, but
I mean, I think Bram, I think that that's definitely the way to go. But I think that we should have like a solution for everyone, because we also have communities that may not have as much traffic, but that we still have to take care of. So I think that's the way to go at the beginning. But if we need to find like a more general solution, then
I mean, if we just have a list of locales in order of traffic, I can just go through them and find the ones that are messed up and make translations that are not real translations. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I can. I have that list. So Michael, if you want, we can do that.
Yeah, just email me.
It's on WebTrans. Yeah, I can send you the link. Like, do you have WebTrans access?
Yep.
Yeah, I can send you that.
Okay.
So we think that the homepage changes are the reason that Elton has dropped 8% on Friday.
Do we?
I don't.
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
So we don't. Okay, this is just a related conversation.
Yes,
I was
exactly.
Sure, we're not connecting the two. Okay.
Yeah.
So
what we can do is I can try to figure it out with Michael. We can take a couple look, and Ricky, maybe we can also try to figure out what's going on, why that changed, and why we get that number.
Is there a way to see what stuff was marked ready for localization on Friday or something? Is that a database query that can be made?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
Right.
But maybe. But I can see what was reviewed and approved, but the ready for localization can be done separately, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Gosh, I don't.
Let me look at.
I don't think I made anything ready for localization on Friday that I can think of.
Yeah, me neither.
So let's. I mean, I think that we can take a look at this, and I'll let you know if we find out the reason why it dropped so much. If it's the homepage, if it was the articles, if there's something wrong, we can try.
Okay, thanks. Okay, status update, KPI dashboard, community. Do I need to reload? Should there be something in this section?
from my side. I didn't put anything this time.
Okay. Knowledge base.
Just this week is about getting ready for Firefox 14. There's one more week to get all the stuff ready, so there's articles to update. I started doing summaries to articles. I started, at the top in views and started working my way down. I don't know, I did about 10 of them probably. I'll do some more. I'll make Firefox 14 updates, and I'll be marking everything ready for localization.
When?
Well, this week and next Monday, all through till next Tuesday.
Okay.
Next Tuesday is supposed to be the cutoff, like 4 weeks before the release. So.
Okay. Well, maybe if you could wait till Monday, then we could have a check-in on the L10N before you mark a bunch of more stuff.
Yeah, I don't have to mark anything ready for localization until the last minute. That's easy enough to go through and click buttons.
Let's wait, and then we'll check on the L10N
yeah.
Stats next week and see where we are.
Okay.
Mobile is next, unless there's other knowledge-based questions or comments. I asked Chang for a dump of the helpfulness survey feedback on all the mobile pages, just in preparation for the final release, so I can fix some of the articles that are less helpful. I didn't get that data though, so Eba, if you have time, maybe you can help me with it this week. I can get you revision numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something about that. So, so Matt and I went through some on Friday, and so what I did to help, like I didn't make any changes on Friday, but we went through the feedback through the emails. He forwarded me the automated emails, and I just I put a note in the needs changes thing for those articles. Like I put a bracketed, update tag, and then I just summarized what some of the ideas were to improve the article based on the feedback, or linked. Cool. Matt had started some discussions, so I would just link to the discussion or whatever, so that it's noted in the needs changes section of the dashboard, and somebody else could possibly look and see, or just they didn't have to be done that very second that we were talking about them, because some of them maybe need investigation or something too.
Right. That seems like a good way to go. I'll try to do that also. That same way, just because I know I won't be able to do it all myself probably. But you're looking at the least helpful articles to do that? Is that how you're focusing it, or the articles with the most comments, or how are you slicing it?
Well, we started with on the least helpful documents. We started at the top of that list, but just like you, I was like, hey, there's some other big ones in here that I would really like to know about, especially like current things, that are showing up on the list. And that's what...
One thing to point out that I found pretty interesting is our least helpful article right now was how do I roll back to an older version of Firefox? And if you look at the comments, 90% of the comments are reasons why people want to roll back. They're not comments about the article at all. So that article is taking a huge hit because of product feedback as opposed to article feedback. So again, we're talking about ways that we can kind of move the needle on our article effectiveness. And I think by pulling out that product feedback would be a good way to do that, so that we're actually basing our score on the article itself, not the product. Right. So I'm going to talk to David about that tomorrow in our one-on-one.
Yeah, I think we all intuitively know this is like an issue with the helpfulness rating in general, right? It's like if people are mad about a feature, they're gonna, take it out on the article,
right?
To some degree. So yeah, figuring that out would be helpful. I mean, it would just get us a cleaner picture of what articles are good or not. Go ahead, Rosanna.
Maybe this is something that the moderators can actually take a look at, because they can kind of see, okay, which are what are the article most unhelpful votes, and kind of go through them and take a look if it's product feedback or article feedback.
Well, it's that information's collected and it's not exposed anywhere on SUMO.
Okay, so it's not public.
Yeah, and so right now, I don't know, Matt, you guys have some script that emails you, but not for every article. I don't know what the deal is with that.
Yeah, so actually something that we had kind of been tossing around was the idea that, so on some sort of cadence, so Michael and I had talked about doing it the week after launch so that we still had time to update the articles and get them translated, that we could pull this report and maybe just have it sent to an email list and have anybody, volunteers, contributors on that list as well. And then that would give them all the information they need to go through and actually make the updates to the articles themselves. So if we've got some volunteers to do that, I think it would be great. We can get an email list and they can just subscribe to the list and they'll, get the information they need.
But
I think this is a great task for volunteers that just got started. I think we can find people to do that.
yeah, some of them are difficult. Some of them are easy changes. Some are difficult changes though, right? Some require investigation. Like, why am I losing my bookmarks on upgrade? Nobody really knows that one yet. But also, like you were saying though, Matt, some of these are, maybe we need to do something about either how we calculate the helpfulness or how we present that survey so that people are clear about, please give us feedback about the feature like this and tell us about the article like this.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'd brought this up before, but I think the way that we're capturing the data, if we change that, modify that just slightly, even just to give, people, I have product feedback and it gives them the link to input rather than letting them fill out the form. I think that right there would be a pretty big win. But I'm putting together some metrics, some data around that to justify that change. So.
Cool. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what impact you think that would have pulling it out. I mean, I think we all, like I said, intuitively think it would have a pretty big impact.
Right.
On the list of least helpful articles, give us a more clear picture of which articles actually aren't good as opposed to features that aren't good. But I would agree more visibility on this data is better. If there's a way we can make it publish it publicly, then we don't have to all be asking Cheng for something separately and not getting it, and because he's too busy or whatever. So some way to make this available to everyone. I mean, yeah, I think that some things will take investigation, but we have a lot of good investigators in our community too. So we can enlist them.
Yeah, and so the hard part is the only ones that we can verify, yes, it's feedback about the product, are the people that actually leave comments, and we can read the comments that say, yes, it's about the product. Half the time we'll get, a couple hundred votes that just say other, and they have no comment or anything, so we don't know. It's kind of gray area. We don't know if it's product, article, what. So, some way of distinguishing that as well would be really helpful.
Yep. Okay. Cool. So once I get the survey data, I'll work on the mobile articles, and I'll do what you did, Michael, which is add them to needs changes for things that aren't quick wins. And then I added we've got some sync issues with native UI that we're documenting because you can't have two Firefoxes on your Android device syncing won't work. And you also, I learned at Beer Clock on Friday that you also can't have a master password and use sync on native UI. So current, yeah. So
Master password on mobile. You can have it on desktop.
Right, just not for mobile. And then tablet UI, I'm documenting that we're blocking all tablets for updates now, which is frustrating some people. And so I updated some articles, a couple articles on Friday for that. So people, if they get to SUMO, will see that we've blocked tablet for right now.
So what does that mean? So tablets are going to stay on 10?
Well, they're on 13. And they're going to stay there. and updates are blocked. So like if you go and wipe your device, for example, you can't go get it again for devices that you had it before. So we had a couple of pretty frustrated users on SUMO last week
Oh, they can't get
talking.
the native. Like if they had the native, and then they wipe it, then they can't get it again on the tablet.
Right.
Ooh.
So, and some people, you know, I mean, this is like more of an edge case. Is people with multiple devices where they can get it on their phone and they can't get it on their tablet and they're confused, and Google Play isn't really explaining what we've done.
I thought they started landing some tablet UI in the native stuff, but
They are coming, but
oh,
it's
but not in 14.
not in 14.
Oh, okay.
They're very close though, so they're working really hard on it. Questions about mobile?
What's the finish up docs for about page? For the about Firefox
There's
page?
yeah, there were some other requests for docs that, I mean, we haven't documented the about page very well, so I'm going to try to stand up some stuff for that week. And I have a contributor who's interested in helping that I'm going to try to get her help to do it.
Cool.
Okay, services updates?
Nothing to report on top of sync, so you already talked about it.
Okay.
So we're okay.
Support forum. Tyler, do you want to give an update here? Madeline is not here, but what's going on in your world? You don't have a space on this meeting yet, so tell us what you're doing.
Right now in the forums, we're going through and trying to revamp the contributor documentation. We've got a few things that are in the pipeline that we should be having come out fairly soon for feedback. Rosanna, Madeline, and I are working on that.
Cool.
And then we land those, I'm going to rerun my analysis and see how that has impacted the quality of the answers on forum. Hopefully it'll kick some of that up a little bit. But other than that, also going through and trying to find some ways to improve the notification emails that are sent out to try to increase the number of solved threads a little bit more. I have a couple bugs on that tying into the HTML email notifications. So that's about all for me so far.
Awesome. I think we've talked about working on those in the past, so that would be great. But solved is looking pretty darn good. I haven't looked at comparison data for solved, but in the, you know, in the big graphs, it's getting bigger, so that's cool. Okay, thanks, Roland Thunderbird. Tyler, will you put that in meeting minutes, actually? Edit the page and put those notes in there for me. Go ahead, Roland, sorry.
Oh, no problem. We have partner-related issues as well as crashers and other things we share with Firefox. So we will probably do a 1301, and the timing we don't know because it depends on Firefox. It depends on other things. So they were saying late this week to align with Firefox because we don't want to release any security fixes before Firefox does, as always. And that's, oh, and we have the same problem. We have the same problem about people, they hate a pet feature, so they want to go back. So any material that we can reuse or share between Thunderbird and Firefox in a knowledge base article, for example, would be great.
So do you have similar ratings on articles like this, or do you document how to get back?
We don't really document how to get back.
Okay.
People don't like the FTP location, and we do have the bad ratings, but I don't really track those stats as in real time like you guys do, which is fantastic.
Okay, cool, but sounds familiar at least.
Oh, yes.
Oh, where misery loves your company. Any audibles? Anyone else have stuff they want to bring up?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
So Matt, I think, mentioned earlier in the meeting that he has some ideas on how to explain the jump in visits, because the jump is so big. Like it's
No, wait a second, it's not.
Yeah, I think my numbers are wrong. A by
Yeah.
Okay,
Did you fix my
the
number?
KPI.
Yes.
I'm just looking
I'm
at the
just
KPI.
working on. I'm working
that-
on it as we speak. So there's nothing wrong. There's the usual small increase of 10%.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
You were looking at the KPI dashboard, Brom?
Yeah, I was looking at the KPI rather than the spreadsheet, and it's it's kind of giving the same numbers. But yeah. Okay.
Oh, you're looking at the 750K on June 6th, Brom?
Yeah, and it
Daily.
kind of
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I saw.
Well, I overall expect our traffic to increase just because of the SEO stuff that we're doing and the changes to all the article names. And
Okay.
I thought it would be happening the week before, but I don't know, Matt, if you have thoughts on how long it will take for us to see sort of an overall leveling off.
Yeah, I'd say it's going to take at least a few weeks to, for things to plateau. So
For
it's not
re-index
uncommon.
or something? Yeah. Okay. I expected to
Okay.
see an increase in overall traffic sooner.
So when I do Google searches, I see new titles and summaries when they
Already.
exist. Yeah, or at least the new titles.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that big spike, of course, is the Firefox 13 release, and like Matt was saying, the 2 links on the What's New page. Those articles seem like, I mean, they have a lot of votes, over 1,000 votes a day, which has got to be a lot. I don't know what the visits are, but they're pretty high up there.
Hey, so Michael, maybe that would be a couple of good articles that we can pull as well and find out what people are saying, if it's product feedback or article feedback. I bet those are both getting a lot of product feedback as well.
Right. Well, at least those are getting good ratings,
right?
As opposed to people being mad.
Yeah, whether it's good ratings or bad ratings, we don't want them to rate the product, right?
Yeah.
But this just to repeat on this is strange because it doesn't match what WebTrans is saying, and the data comes from the same place, right? Ricky, the KPI, the visits it's from the WebTrans API.
The visits on the one where the dashboard.
KPI dashboard, yeah.
Yes. What numbers aren't matching, or?
That's 720.
I don't know. What does it say in WebTrans?
Yes, give me a second. I'm just loading that report.
We add so we add non-secure as well. I don't know if WebTrans has it separate.
My computer is so slow. But I mean, there is a spike, but it's not as big. Anyway, yeah, we can troubleshoot this later or confirm.
Okay, yeah, because we are almost out of time. If there's nothing else, we can get off this call. 5 minutes early.
What?
Woohoo!
Set your bathroom break for the WWDC.
Oh, yeah, the Apple soap opera. Who cares? Let's all use Windows and Android. Just
yay.
kidding.
All right, thanks everyone.
And B2G, of course. Who cares about Android? Let's just all use B2G.
Yeah.